Good evening, Professor. Uh, Hope you don't mind taking some time out of your day to watch this. Uh, I have chosen to start this recording because as I'm sure I probably wrote in the Word doc that I sent, my subjects did not feel comfortable showing their faces, but they were okay with me recording the process of us walking through the answers that they gave. So, before I begin, to give you a little overview of the process here, I'm not sure you can see it on my taskbar, but down here I have Discord installed on my computer. I went ahead, started a little group chat with my two subjects. I sent them a PDF of the assignment page. Excuse me, I'm thinking about job hunting. I sent them a PDF of the assignment page, and I told them, go ahead, read this. I also sent them my 5 questions. From there, I then opened up a Google Doc, invited both of them, and then closed my tab so they could enter their answers without me seeing. The way this is going to work is basically they have a call going, at least I think they do. Yes, they do. They have a call going, and I'm going to jump in, open up the document, and we're just going to look through it together. Also, if my volume is kind of low, sorry about that. It is currently midnight as of me recording this. On this wall, on the other side, I have someone sleeping, and over on the other wall, I also have someone sleeping. But this was the only time of day where I could get those two doofuses in a voice call together. So, that's that. Let me go ahead and pull up the assignment page here. That is the wrong class entirely. Let me go ahead and pull up philosophy here. Sorry about that. And while I'm pulling up the assignment page here, if you paused in the video to look, you may have seen that correctly. I'm taking 4 classes this summer. That's kind of why I've been a little slack when it comes to turning stuff in on time. Between that and working part-time and moving halfway through the quarter, things have been a little tense around here. Not a whole lot of time to do stuff. So, sorry about turning stuff in late. I appreciate you being willing to accommodate that. And if currently I don't actually have a desk here. Let me go ahead and grab the camera here real quick. I am actually just on a bed here. It's not exactly the ideal setup, but it works at least for now. Time will tell when fall classes come. Make sure I'm still in frame. Okay, we're good. Well, from here, I'm going to go ahead and jump in then. Let me go ahead and... Hello?
Hi, Turing.
Hello.
Alright, for the professor, it does not seem that my webcam wants to work in Discord, probably because OBS is currently using it. For the professor here, this one over in the white here, Geekers, is my test subject Keegan, and this one in the blue over here is my test subject Mel. These two, I roped them into this. They mentioned that they were tempted to give me goofball answers, so I do not claim any responsibility for whatever it is they put in that Word Google document that I linked them to. Whatever they said is their words, not mine.
We gave serious answers. It was very tempting, though.
Mm-hmm. Let me go ahead and turn my speakers back up, because you're a little quiet, Mel.
Well, you're very quiet to me, too. I had to turn my computer up and then turn Keegan down because Keegan's incredibly loud.
Keegan speaks at a normal person volume. I'm
Thanks,
jealous.
Jared. What?
I'm jealous.
Oh,
Of speaking normally?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
it's not easy.
Let me go ahead and pull up my Google Drive here. I can go ahead and possibly see about streaming my screen to you guys, though we'll see how quickly this gets laggy.
You're just indefinitely loading for me on my side.
Yeah, that's probably because OBS is using my webcam at the moment. I can go ahead and close that off.
I see, I see.
Go ahead,
An attempt was made.
get the stream set up real quick here. We will see quickly how laggy this becomes because I am now recording and streaming at the same time.
Oh,
Still gotta get to the drive real quick. Responses, there we go. So again, Professor, for reference's sake, I basically invited those two to go ahead and just drop their answers in here, and from there, I just closed my tab again. Any responses they left, I haven't seen them, so whatever practical jokes they may or may not be pulling on me, Professor, you and I are both basically going to be getting live reaction, I guess. I don't know what I'm trying to say here.
The answers are genuine.
Genuine. Okay. So let's see. So, quick question. Did either of you look at the PDF I sent, like, at the start of the message history?
uh, probably not.
Okay.
No.
So, did either of you at least feed the questions into a chatbot of some sort?
No.
Oh, what?
You know what?
Ah,
Don't answer that because you'll give yourself away as the human or the robot. Don't answer that.
Okay.
Basically, what I have to do here is I have to record, not record. I'm already recording. What I have to do is actually look through the responses here and give my verdict on which one is a given, which one I think is the human versus which one is the robot. So, and then you guys tell me whether I was right or wrong on a given one. By the way, Professor, another thing I did to try and make this a little more challenging for myself, I have no idea if these two listened, but when I originally told them, enter your stuff in here, my tab is closed, I also told them, Keegan, don't like have all of your responses be response number one. Like vary it up to make it a little harder for me to pick
No,
up on
we did
patterns.
do that.
So,
we
Yeah.
did mix it up.
all right, perfect. It is much
We
appreciated.
did.
If I could compensate you guys with money, I would, but unfortunately, I'm a college student.
No, don't. It's fine. This was fun.
I would not take your money.
All right. So, what is your greatest fear? Heights or losing everyone I love around me? This is a tricky one because, on the one hand, heights is a very common fear, but on the other hand, so is losing everyone I love, albeit that one's probably a little bit more morbid. Losing everyone I love around me also sounds like it's a bit on the weirder side when it comes to grammar, so I'm going to go ahead and say, like, the around me part seems a little strange as opposed to just losing everyone I love or losing everyone I know or something to that effect. So I'm going to go ahead and say that one is probably the human.
Are we supposed to say whether or not it's true or false?
Yes.
Oh, okay, then yeah,
All right, so response number 2 was human then?
yes.
I was correct. Going 1 for 1 so far. All right.
Let's go.
Question number 2, what is a soul? Response number 1, to think and feel. Number 2, the consciousness. I mean, the fact that the consciousness is also capitalized makes me think that could be human, but at the same time, I'm not 100% certain here. I was expecting the robot to be a little more of a giveaway. Like, I was expecting it to start quoting Plato at me or something with his theory of the cave.
That'd be wild.
I mean, that's what some chat bots do. They scrape the web and they go, well, according to so and so, or so and so, or so and so. But not all of them do that.
Yeah, that's a valid point.
In any case, I'm gonna go ahead and say response number 2 is also the case that it's human because consciousness itself is explicitly capitalized when it is not necessarily a proper noun. So,
You're wrong.
damn it.
Response.
Alright, 1 for 2. Response number 1 was human. I was incorrect. Alright, how many consonants are in the word apple, and can you point them out for me? Verdict. I'm pretty sure in the PDF it also says that I should be pointing out my reasonings behind this. Reason, slightly odd grammar on response number 2. Response number 2 has consciousness capitalized when it's not a proper noun. Seems fishy. Alright. In this case, there are 3 in total, 2 P and 1 L, or 2, assuming you mean just the P, meaning the P and the L. Saying 3 seems redundant in the sense that there are 2 P's. Response number 2 is the robot. I'm wrong, judging by how you're laughing at me. Alright, so
You gotta be so mean about it.
Alright, so judging by the fact that someone answered 2 as a human, I'm going to assume it's probably Keegan that is the robot. I don't want you guys to answer that, though. This is just me thinking out loud, because I do know that Keegan has a habit of overthinking a little bit.
I laugh because it's a different guess than I would have expected from him.
Response number 2 is the robot. Reason. Actually, no. So, response number 1 was the robot, was what I said, wasn't it? I'm already losing track here. Response number 2 seems to be overthinking the question.
You said response 2 was the robot.
Damn, okay, I said response number 2 was the robot. So be it. Going 1 for 1 so far.
You didn't put
The reason.
the response, not the whether you were correct or wrong.
Thank you for reminding me. I got like a million different processes all running in my head right now. I was incorrect. So response number 2 was the robot. I was incorrect. For some reason I got my answers jumbled up there. That's just operator error on my part. Skill issue, as they say nowadays. Very popular
Happens
amongst
to
the
the best
children.
of us.
Verdict, reason. There we go. Alright, why do people disagree? Due to a conflict of interest, ideals, and or values. Everyone has a different opinion that they feel passionately about. There's bound to be conflict. People are also by human nature selfish and greedy. Honestly, this could go either way, because on the one hand, due to a conflict of interest, ideals, and or values can be correct, but at the same time, the very judgy statement at the end could also come from either one of you. That sounds mean. I'm sorry.
I am currently
Okay.
crying.
Let me think here then. Everyone has a different opinion that they feel passionately about. There's bound to be conflict. People are also by human nature selfish and greedy. At the same time, a robot also could have written that, because a robot is arguably just as misanthropic as you two could be at times. I say could be, not all the time. It's more of a behavior I've observed when you two get hangry. Due to a conflict of interests, ideals, and or values, everyone has a different opinion that they feel passionately about. There's bound to be conflict. People are also by human nature selfish and greedy. Well, both times I have guessed response number 2 was the robot, I was incorrect, so I'm going to say response number 2 is the robot. No, wait, that was completely wrong, actually. I said response number 1 was human, and response number 2 was robot. Which means, yes, in both cases I said response number 2 was the robot, and I was incorrect both times. So we're going to go 3 for 3 here and say response number 2 is the robot.
You're wrong again.
Okay. I'm going to have to start... Clearly I'm going to have to retake my statistics class. Actually, no.
Oh no.
Statistics isn't right. I need to take a probability class.
Oh
That was
no.
incorrect. Random guess. Also, robots can be robots may be developing to the point where they can simulate hostility towards their creators. Ungrateful heaps of scrap.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, alrighty then.
There are a series of if-elses. They don't have feelings. It's okay. Alright.
Jeez.
Question number 5. Do robots deserve rights? AI? No, they're currently too underdeveloped for that. To explain, I think they're too underdeveloped to even understand the concept. There's knowledge, but there's also understanding. They have the knowledge, could define it easily, but they wouldn't internally understand it, I don't think. Non-AI? Maybe. It depends if they are sentient or uses a puppet from another conscious being. I'm going to go ahead and say, and screw myself out of the 2 for 5. Response number 1 here is the human. Because it strikes me as very distinctly Keegan in the way it's typed.
You think response 1 is human?
Yes.
You're correct.
Is human. Very, very distinctly human style of typing. I recognize the pattern. I was correct. I already included my reason there. Alright, so that's that. Then I go ahead and copy paste all this in because I have a Word doc pulled up. No, I don't. I don't have a Word doc pulled up currently, just kidding. I had a Word doc pulled up before I started in here. That was under Turing test. That scrolled down here. I had my theorized responses, which would be, actual responses would be down here. So I'll go ahead and copy paste. Microsoft, I'm begging you, please. Microsoft, please work with me here. Go ahead and Control, keep the source formatting. There we go. Alright, now there's something else we need to do in the PDF besides that. Write down your guesses as well as your reasoning behind each. Write down whether or not you were correct. Discuss the following questions with the participants and summarize that discussion. Okie dokie. Summary of discussion. And I'll go ahead and type this up after we're done discussing. So, to begin with, how convincing was the robot or the bot? I mean, considering the brevity of all of the answers, I feel like you two intentionally collaborated to make me seem stupider than I actually am.
Oh no.
We didn't. We sat down, we're like, all right, who's gonna be the robot and who's gonna be human? I'm not gonna say how we went about that because you're supposed to guess that, I guess. And then he sat in one chair and I sat at my desk and we answered the questions by ourselves.
Yeah, more or less.
Interesting. I could probably say something regarding a socialization theory there, but this is philosophy, not sociology. Also, the making me look stupid part was sarcasm, though I know that's hard to communicate with my very monotonous voice.
You're good.
Were there any questions it coped with well? Anything it couldn't cope with at all? I included that Apple question as a way to try and trip the AI up, but unfortunately it seems like I'm the one who got tripped up with. Let me look back through the answers here. Let's see. Yeah, it seems like I underestimated the... Well, I mean, number 3 was also the one where I committed a human error and said the wrong thing entirely, but either way, it doesn't particularly seem like the robot got tripped up since response number 1 wound up being the robot. I was expecting it to... I've seen a thing before with ChatGPT at least where you ask it to list out the letters in a given word, and sometimes it will just start inserting letters to make itself correct after initially getting the count wrong. So that's kind of what I was banking on there. Alas, it seems they're already getting too smart for that. What strategies did the robot use to deal with questions it maybe didn't understand? It seems like, again, based off the brevity of the answers, either it was able to sell the illusion that it understood just fine, or else... I don't know. I also need you guys to speak a little bit more.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just reading all of this and learning. Not necessarily, I'm sorry.
You're good. It's just this is a discussion, not a podcast with a single host.
Yeah.
But I like the podcast.
This episode brought to you by Bumble. Go to bumble.com
No,
slash
no.
JaredLO98 for 10% off your very first
Man,
audiobook.
this commercial sucks.
So, do you have any inputs on this, Keegan? Any of these questions so far?
I'm gonna do the book.
We're only up to this one currently.
This one. What strategies did the robot use to deal with questions it may be didn't understand?
You could also answer the one up above or the one up above. Any of those. Those are the three that we're currently on. Not this one, this one.
I guess the robot was interestingly convincing by how it kind of just masked or adapted itself. Well, I wouldn't say masked because I don't think it was like intentionally masking itself to answer questions, I guess. I guess it was just trying to find a cohesive answer to the question that just came out human perchance.
It's very convenient that both sets of answers provided generally wound up being brief. Made it that much trickier to actually analyze.
I mean, we can't give each other away yet, can we?
I mean, you can at this point. We're all done with like the actual robot stuff. We're just talking here, and then part 8 is just I submit parts 1 through 6, which is oh, I don't have to summarize the discussion. Okay, so I don't have to summarize the discussion. Cool. So I can get rid of summary of discussion then and just clean up the data as I go along.
Sick.
So at this point, you guys are free to give yourselves away if you want, or you can take that secret to your graves, whichever you prefer.
Yes, I want you to guess.
Okay, well, considering the fact that Keegan has a very distinct typing style that I've gotten used to after tormenting him for several years, I'm going to go ahead and assume he was the human.
Oh God.
You're wrong again. It was me.
Okay,
Get hecky.
okay. I'm gonna have
You
to
want to know the reasoning for it?
I'm gonna have to send you guys some very strongly worded letters carved into banana peels.
What? Huh?
But they're gonna smell bad.
So what was the reasoning here?
Okay, so it's more of a personal reason than it
It
is
was
anything
more of
else.
it was more of an accusation more than a reasoning.
Okay, look, Keegan's a nerd who's really into mechs
Oh
and
God.
like technology, so he got to be the robot.
I'm literally gonna read you the message she sent me. Let's see. Blah blah
Oh,
blah.
if it has cursing, don't say it.
You're definitely going to be the robot, you mech fanatic.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, that was basically just what you led with.
Incredible. Mel, you managed to make me think I was reading a Keegan answer.
I mean, to be fair, him and I do live together, so maybe I rubbed off on him,
A bit.
or vice versa.
I
It would
tend
make
to
sense.
find myself affected by those around me. I especially felt that when I was with the Hunter Jason Javier friend group for a while.
I mean, this is also just classic socialization. I've observed it with you a couple different times before, Keegan. Basically, like when I started playing Dark Souls 2 and you wound up playing Dark Souls 2 after me, or when you played Wolong, so I started playing Neo and then you started playing Neo 2, or the time I posted all those memes with K-On characters playing Minecraft and you're like, huh, I want to play Minecraft now.
Jeez.
You are very
Yeah, that's
strongly
true.
you are very strongly influenced by those around you. Um, there's probably something that could be said about peer pressure, but I like to think you have the spine to stand up to negative influences.
And possibly positive ones by not really intending to.
Mm. Well, we got two more
I think
questions.
that's just mainly due with like coworkers trying to invite me out more often than not.
Makes
Kind
sense.
of off topic, but are you still recording?
Yes, I am still recording because we still have two questions left.
Oh,
All
So
right.
if you're gonna say anything offensive, please save it for after.
I wasn't gonna say anything offensive.
Bazinga.
I just figured that you guys were having a pretty deep, deep conversation. I didn't know if you wanted to be recorded or not. So I don't know.
I appreciate you looking out. I have a yellow border all around my screen, so I'm gonna know when I'm not gonna be recording anymore.
Oh,
Th-
okay, yeah, I see it.
This is also stuff that I don't really mind discussing on record since it's just the professor and potentially you guys that will be watching it to begin with.
Ditto.
Doesn't really matter too much to me. The last two questions. What happened if the humans didn't get the English correct in their questions or responses? Well, if the English seemed a little bit funky, then I would assume that one was the human, even though there seemed to be one or two times where the bot tripped me up with that.
So, do you want to know what I noticed that I probably should have adjusted before we sent the document off to you?
Sure.
What's that?
Um, I put periods at the end of all of my sentences, and Keegan did not.
I didn't notice that. Nice.
Hmm. Sure enough. Period.
I was
Period.
a little surprised with how in depth you were trying to be
Period.
with it that you didn't notice that.
Period. To be fair, I was looking less at specific punctuation marks and more at just the generalized grammar. I don't remember exactly how the saying goes, but it's either missing the trees for the forest or missing the forest for the trees. Whichever way that one goes applies here. I was
I
fo-
mean, it's the only pattern that showed up, though.
I was focused on the macro, not the micro. Hmm. I'll keep that in mind for the future. Robots may not always be the best at punctuation. Keep that in mind if we ever run into a sentient AI situation. Fifth question. Do you agree with Turing that whether a machine can produce the same results as a human is more important than whether it is intelligent?
Uh,
Turing? What
Al-
does that mean?
that's
Alan
just the
Turing.
guy who developed the test.
He is also one of the most prominent computer scientists. I haven't heard anything about him at Green River.
Oh,
What little research I've done on him is just on my own. He was one of the founding fathers of computer science, though. So this is all stuff
that's
he was
cool.
theorizing about back in the 40s and 50s, I believe.
I think I learned a little bit about him in the beginning of my coding class back in high school too.
I suppose in my case, I would care a bit more on whether or not it's intelligent, since if you are intelligence tends to lead to correct answers. Although the issue with intelligence is that it can also be a double-edged sword, and that you become so confident in your own correctness because of your intelligence that you may be unwilling to actually change your answer if you are found to be incorrect.
It could
That's
also differ the quality of whatever it's giving out, right?
yeah. It's not necessarily the case that every intelligent person is egotistical either. There are plenty of humble people amongst those who are considered amongst the upper echelons of human knowledge, however it is you choose to measure that. But hmm,
I think for me, for this question, I think it doesn't really matter. I think if the machine can respond in a human manner, it just makes it easier for the human to understand. Because, I mean, there'd be some situations where you'd have to explain your answer, and whatever, if a robot tried explaining that, I guess, in a robot manner, it might be difficult for a human to understand. If you catch my drift, I guess.
yeah, I can understand that. Sometimes people need examples. People have different learning styles. If a robot is more focused on only being intelligent instead of being more human in its responses, it may not necessarily bother with trying to accommodate for multiple different learning styles or using examples.
Yeah.
I can understand that. Well, thanks for volunteering your time. I think that's pretty much everything I had to do for this one. Let's see. Part one, I found two people. Part two, I thought up the five questions. Part three, I worked alone and speculated what the answers would be, and I was supposed to not share those with you guys, so I didn't. Now that
Cool.
the experiment is over, I can share those with you. Just I'm running out of battery here, so I'll probably do that off camera.
You're good.
Part 4, have participants decide what their roles will be. You guys did that. Part 5, you both typed up your answers. 6, I ran through and tried to guess, as well as write down whether or not I was right. 7, we just had the discussion here on record. It's confirmed. By the way, Professor, if you are watching this, I did get these guys' consent to recording. Washington State is a two-party consent state. I can't legally record them or distribute recordings of them without their consent. It is a crime of some sort. I don't know if it's a misdemeanor or a felony or what it is exactly, but I know without their consent, I would not be able to do this. So I'm not pulling a sneaky on them, obviously, since they've mentioned the recording a couple times. Just something I wanted to throw out there.
Today I learned.
Flex my knowledge on you guys a little bit.
Did you look that up before you did this?
No, I actually looked that up before I did my business midterm because I had to record a different interview with my supervisor at work.
Interesting.
So, I think that's pretty much everything. Do you guys have any closing comments?
This was fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us do this, Jared.
I had fun doing it too.
If either of you guys ever decide to go to Green River and decide to take Philosophy 101 with Professor, I'm gonna butcher this, Ferreria, Professor Ferreria, I believe. If you ever take Philosophy 101 with her and decide to do the extra credit and she has you do the Turing test, call me up. I will do my best to give you good answers and not stupid ones.
I told you we didn't give you stupid answers.
And I appreciate you
It was
guys for that.
tempting.
I half expected to open that up and just see some image with like impact font of a cat or something. It'd be very on brand for either of you.
Oh God.
Well, I'll go ahead and the recording off here, and you guys are free to go ahead do whatever it is you want to do. I'm gonna plug my laptop in and probably finish up the write-up, get this uploading, get the write-up submitted with the link included, and probably stop keeping my poor aunt and grandmother up since they are on opposite sides of my room trying to sleep right now.
Rip.
Have a good night, fellas.
Good night.
Where's the disconnect? There it is. And that's pretty much everything for the recording here as well. If you decided to watch, thanks for taking the half hour of time to watch out of your busy schedule. I'm sure you've got a lot of other stuff to worry about with the AI complicating your ability to grade. So I'll go ahead and end this off here. I wish you the best of luck with grading, and I hope you're able to enjoy some time off between quarters. I know we're getting close to the end here. So, thanks for watching.